Hi everyone. So in this lecture we'll see the relationships in ER model. What does mean by relationships? In the previous lecture I told it is the association between two different entities. A relationship relates two or more distinct entities with a specific meaning. Okay, if you take the example here, employee Sammy works for IT department. So here employee and department are the two different entities and works for is the relationship. Okay, so we are saying what is the association or the relationship between two different entities. Now relationships of the same type can be grouped, and these grouped relationships will be called as relationship type. Okay, relationships of the same type are grouped into a relationship type. So here works for relationship type in which we have employees and the departments entities. Okay, so the employees and departments are called as participating entities in the relationship works for. Okay, so employee and department are the participating entities in the relationship works for. Now we'll see the difference between relationship type and the relationship state. Relationship type means it gives you the schema description of a relationship. Okay, it gives you the schema description of a relationship and it identifies what is the name of the relationship and what all the participating entities in the relationship. Okay, so it says what all the different participating entities in the relationship and it gives the description of the entire relationship. Then if you want to specify some constraints, so that constraints can also be identified in the relationship type. Now what does mean by relationship set? So the current set of relationship instances represents the represented in the database are called as relationship set. The current set of relationship instances which are represented in the database are called as relationship set. Okay, that means like entity set we have, right? Like how many instances or records we have in the database, that gives you the entity set. So similarly, relationship set means the current state of the relationship type in the database is called as relationship set. So here you can see the example where employee and department are the two different entities and they are related using the relationship works for. R1, R2, R3 are the relationship instances. Okay, so using that employee E1 is related to D1 using R1. Okay, so these are called as relationship set. So R1 to Rn will be the group of relationships which are of same relationship type. So those are called as relationship set. Now relationship types can associate the same entities. Okay, same entity type can be associated with itself. Then it is called as recursive relationship. So only one entity will be there and it is associated or it is related to itself. Then it is called as recursive relationship. Now here you can see employee is an entity and it is participating in the relationship type called supervisors. Okay, in the supervisors relationship, employee is participating in two different ways. An employee can be a supervisor. So he is supervising some other employees, right? So employee can be a supervisor or supervisee. Okay, so only one entity set you have, but it is relating itself. So such relationships are called as recursive relationships. And what is the role they are performing, or what is the role the entity type is performing in the relationship, that can be specified here as a role name. Okay, you can see supervisor and supervisee. These are the different roles performed by the employee entity type. Okay, employee entity type is participating in two different ways, that is supervisor and supervisee. Now, when we have different entities, they can be associated using more than one relationships. Okay, that means between the same entities, we can have different relationships. So, more than one relationship type can exist with the same participating entity types. Here you can see employee and department. These are the two different entities. An employee works for department, so that is one relationship. Works for employee manages the department, so manages is the different relationship. Okay, two relationships are there, works for and the manages, but the entities are same, employee and department. And in another example, you can see student and the team. Student is a member of team and student is the leader of team. So we have student and team, two different entities, but they have two different relationships. Okay, so that means more than one relationship can be possible between the same participating entities. A relationship type can have a attribute. Okay, when like similar to your entities will have attributes, right, which describes the feature of a particular entity type. So similarly, relationship type can also have some attributes. So these attributes are called as descriptive attributes. Now here employee and project, they are related using works on relationship, and number of hours he works for that project. So number of hours is a specific attribute which is of works on relationship. Okay, it describes some features about the relationship type. That's why hours or week is called as descriptive attribute of works on relationship type. Similarly, employee works for department. Okay, so when he started working for that department, okay, when he started working for that department, so that is the property of works for relationship. Okay, so that's why that since that date will be added as a descriptive attribute to the works for relationship. Then we'll see the degree of relationship. Degree means like how many entities are participating in the relationship. Okay, the degree of relationship type is the number of participating entity types. There are four different types are there: unary, binary, ternary and n-ary. Okay, so unary means it is like the entities of the same entity type are associated using the relationship. It is nothing but the recursive relationship. So in the recursive relationship, what happens? Entity type is related to itself. That means only one entity is participating in the relationship. Then it is called as unary relationship. Then binary means there will be two different entity types. They are participating in the relationship. Okay, and ternary, three different entity types. Okay, entities of three different entity types are related to each other. Then it is called as ternary relationship. Then comes n-ary. N-ary relationship means here more than three different types of entities are participating. Okay, more than three different types of entities. Then it is called as n-ary relationship. Here you can see the different examples. Like for the unary relationship, person married to a person. Okay, so person is the entity. So here you can see only one entity type is there, person, and entities of person related to itself or related to themselves. Okay, so a person is married to another person. So both are belonging to the same entity type. So that's why it is called as a unary relationship. Then in binary, we can see student and course. So student enrolled in course. Okay, student and course are different entity types. So entities of these two entity types are related. Okay, using enrolled in relationship. Then comes a ternary relationship. You can see three different entities here: doctor, medicine, and patient. So doctor prescribes a medicine for a patient. So three different entities are related. And then finally, n-ary relationship. You can see customer, supplier, state, product. So four are there. Four different entity types are there, and they are related or associated via Bayes relationship. So Bayes is the n-ary relationship here. Okay, so these are the examples for different types of relationships based on the degree of the relationship. Now, structural constraints on relationships. There are two main constraints: mapping cardinalities and participation constraints. Mapping cardinalities means here we'll specify the cardinality ratio. Cardinality ratio means it expresses the number of entities to which another entity can be associated via a relationship set. So how the number of entities are related to another entities using relationship. So that ratio we will specify in the cardinality. Okay, so there are different cardinalities like 1:1, 1:n, n:1, and m:n. We can also say like 1:1, one to many, many to one, and many to many. Okay, so these are the different cardinalities. Now first we'll see what is meant by one-to-one relationship. In one-to-one, an entity in one set is associated with at most one entity in another set. You can see A and B are the two different entity sets or entity types. Okay, A and B are the two different entity types, and they have the entities like A1, A2, A3, A4, and here B is having B1, B2, B3, B4. Observe this clearly. A1 is mapped to B1 and A2 is mapped to B2. A4 is mapped to B3. So exactly one entities from B is mapped to one entity in A. Okay, so that's why it is called one-to-one. And A3 is not mapped to anything, right? So what is the definition here? What definition says? One entity in one set is associated with at most one entity in another. At most, that means it may be associated with one entity in another set, or it may not. Okay, at most one entity. If it is having relationship means it should be associated with exactly one entity in entity set. Okay, so see the example: employee manages department. So if I take any department, so department will have a manager, right? A department will have a manager. So how many manager it can have? It can have only one manager. And if I take employee manages the department, so how many department he can manage? So he can manage only one department. He is a manager of one department. Okay. And if I have 10 different employees and two departments I have, then what happens? Only two employees are the managers. Correct? So only two employees are related to department using managers relationship. The other 8 members or 8 employees are not mapped to any department, but still it is a one-to-one relationship. So exactly one-to-one mapping is there between employee and the department using managers relationship. That's why it is called as one-to-one relationship. Then one-to-many relationship. Here an entity in the first set is associated with 0 or more entities in the second set. Okay, here you can see A1 is related to B1 and B2. A2 is mapped to B3 and B4. Right? 2. that means more than one entities of B is mapped to entities in the set A. Okay, so that's why it is called one to many. Okay, so exactly one instance you take from A, only one instance is mapped to many instances of B. Okay, so that's why it is called as one to many relationship. And cardinality will be specified as 1:n. A department controls projects. A department can control many projects, 0 or more than 0, or it can control projects, many projects, or it may not control any of the project, but 0 or more projects it can control. Okay, if you have different departments and if you have any projects there, then it will be like one to many relationship. Okay, so it will be represented like a one, cardinality 1 is represented with the arrow mark, and the many will be shown using a simple line, straight line. Okay, so if it is mentioned with arrow, then it is 1, cardinality is 1, and if it is a straight line which is connecting the relationship and the entity type, then it is the many cardinality. Okay, so here a department can control 0 or more projects. Then many to one relationship, it is just the opposite of one to many. Okay, you when you are reading the relationship from left to right, you just change the direction, then you can get many to one relationship. Okay, so here you can see many students can join a college. Whether a student can join multiple colleges at the same time, whether he can be admitted in multiple colleges, it is not possible, right? Only one college he can admit, and to one college he can admit, and then a college to students, a college can have many students. If I read college to student with joins relationship, then it will be many to one. Okay, sorry, one to many. And if I take students to college, so many students in one college. Okay, so many to one. So if you just change the direction, then you'll get one to many or many to one relationship. So instances from set A, more than one instance from set A is associated with exactly one instance in set B. Okay, more than one instances from set A is mapped or associated to exactly one instance of set B, then it is called as many to one relationship. Now many to many relationship, so here entities of either set may be associated with any number of entities in the other set. Okay, so here employee works on project. So for a project, if I take any project, so there may be n number of employees working on that project. Okay, more than one employees can be there, 0 or more. Then if I take employee working on a project, he whether he will work only on one project or many projects, he can work on many projects, right? So there also cardinality will be many. So that's why many to many. An employee can work on many projects. A project can be developed by many employees. So both the sides, if you take, it is many. Okay, so n number of employees or m number of projects. So that's why it is many to many cardinality. Then participation constraints. So this is another constraint under relationship. So it specifies the minimum participation, like how many instances of an entity type E is participating in the relationship. What is the maximum number? So that can be shown using participation constraint. Okay, it specifies minimum participation, and it specifies whether the existence of an entity depends on its being related to another entity. Okay, using the relationship. So that is called as participation constraint. So there are two types, partial participation and total participation. If only some entities in entity type E participate in relationships R, then it is called as partial participation. Okay, that means each entity in E, okay, each entity in entity type E can participate in a relationship set. Okay, what does mean by partial here? It can participate. They are mentioning it can participate in a relationship set. That means it is not mandatory. Okay, it is optional. Whether all the entities in the entity type participating it or not, that is optional. Okay, so the minimum value must be, or sorry, the minimum value will be 0. Maximum it can be like it can participate more than 0 also. And it is represented using a single line. Okay, so see the example here, doctor diagnoses patient. So whether all doctors will diagnose the patient, so that is again not, right? It is not like every doctor will not diagnose the patient. And whether patient is diagnosed by doctor, every patient is diagnosed by doctor, that is again optional. Okay, so that's why it is called as partial participation. So here doctor and patient entity types are partially participating in the relationship type diagnosis. Okay, so that means as I said, employee manages the department, correct? So whether all the employees are the managers? No, right? So that means from employee side it is partial. Okay, but if I take department, so each department must have a manager, then it will be called as total participation. Okay, I'll explain total participation in the coming slide. So total participation, so if every entity in E participates in at least one relationship in R. Okay, so if there are n number of entities in the set, then each one must participate. Okay, each one must be associated with another entities in the entity set. Okay, each entity E must participate in a relationship set. Okay, and minimum value will be 1 or more. And every entity in E participates in at least one relationship in R. So it is mandatory. In the partial I said it is optional, but in total participation it is mandatory. You can see professor guides a student. So here professor, so if you have n number of professors, okay, so whether every professor will guide a student? No, right? So that means it is partial. Okay, at the professor, so professor is partially participating in the relationship, and student, so each student must have a guide. If I say you have to submit your project, final year project, then for your project you must have a guide. Okay, so that means student is totally participating in the relationship guides. Okay, so that is the difference here, partial and total. And the above also you can see employee manages department, already I explained. Now you can see the difference here. In one picture we have shown the arrow mark, and in another one we have used 1 and n notation. Okay, so cardinality ratio can be shown, or it can be represented either using arrow and straight line. Arrow indicates it is 1, and straight line or the simple line indicates it is many. And here instead of that you can specify 1 and n for many. Okay, so it is 1:n relationship. And for total participation you have to show double lines. Okay, so for total participation you have to use the double line, and lines, and for partial single line. Okay, so this is the represent convention we are using in the ER diagram. Okay, so this is the topic which comes under constraints. So next we will see what is meant by weak entity in the next session. So I'll stop this session here with the participation constraints. Thank you.